Welcome to another Cardano update. Like always, make sure to check out our YouTube memberships and our Patreon if you want access to all of our charts and if you want access to our market updates on Discord. And I hope you enjoyed this video. So yeah, Cardano is currently below the bull market support band. It's still going down. And like I said, we do have a 1-2 setup on the chart, and this is the support zone for it. But yeah, the 1-2 setup, it's not really, that bullish, because the first wave, if this is actually a first wave move, it only has a 3-wave move to the upside, so it's not the best first wave move ever. Now, the support zone is between 56.3 cents and 73.5 cents, and yeah, I mean right now we are at the 0.382 support level, which is fine, and actually we are kind of seeing a bounce right now, so we'll see if we actually continue this or not. Keep in mind, we got rejected by the bull market support band, so it's likely that this correction will just continue for a couple of weeks, maybe even 2 months or so. And yeah, I'm not a fan of that, but there is a possibility, and you have to keep in mind that we will most likely get a cross on the bull market support band, and I will talk about this very soon. But first, keep in mind, the second wave move to the downside got to the 0.618 support level, which was very unexpected, and if we get another low, that could put us below the 0.618 support level, which would not be great, because if we do that, we will most likely drop to the 0.786 support level, and that is at about 38.6 cents, and we cannot really afford to drop below this level right here, because if we drop below the 0.786 support level, we will most likely invalidate the whole 1-2 setup. The invalidation point is at 27.8 cents, and honestly, I mean, personally, I don't think that we will get this low, but like I said, it is a possibility that we get maybe another low or something like a double bottom, and then we start going up, because what we have right now on the chart is not bullish enough, and yeah, we got rejected by the bull market support band. Now, if you watched my previous 2 videos, I mean, you probably already know what we are doing right now. We seem to be copying the structure of the previous cycle with these higher highs and the higher lows, and it's the exact same thing. I've talked about this yesterday. Now, keep in mind, from a 4-year cycle point of view, I mean, in the previous cycle, exactly 4 years ago, we were up here. And from an Elliott wave point of view, we're still down here, and from the structure point of view, we're actually down here in this correction. So yeah, we have 3 things on the chart right now that are pretty much just repeating themselves, but they're repeating, in a different way, and this is not bearish. Keep in mind, in the previous cycle, when we were doing this right here, Cardano was actually going up because Bitcoin dominance was going down, and right now Bitcoin dominance is not really going down. It's actually at 60% still, and it's still above the 0.618 resistance level of the previous all-time high, and it looks like we will get another cross very soon, which is not the best thing ever. And like I said, until we get QE, it's likely that Bitcoin dominance continues going higher, and if that happens, I'm not going to rule out Cardano getting another low in the second wave right here before, getting something else. And yeah, keep in mind, in the previous 2 cycles, even though I was not really a fan of this theory, in the previous 2 cycles, the altcoin season actually started at the end of February and at the end of March, and right now we are pretty much at the beginning of February, so it is very likely that we just start the altcoin season next month, or maybe the month after that, if we just do what we did in the previous cycle. Now, keep in mind, we had a cross on the bull market support band, and this turned out to be a big fake out. It did not look like this right here, and yeah, we did not really get a big move to the downside after 48 days, after the cross, like we did over here and like we did in the cycle before that. And I mean, that's not really bearish, because at the end of the day, from the 4-year cycle point of view, Bitcoin dominance is not really expected to go down, at least not yet. But it's very interesting, because we already got above the 0.618 resistance level, and in the previous cycle we did not. So I mean, in this cycle, Bitcoin dominance will most likely, go higher, which is not great for the altcoins right now. However, this will be good for the altcoins once it actually starts dropping, and I still think that it will start dropping. It drops every single cycle. As you can see, it dropped in 2017 and it dropped in 2021, so it will most likely drop again in 2025. We just don't know when, and there is a possibility that it just drops in May or something, because it never did that. Now, I don't really want to change my predictions, so I will stay, with my predictions that I have right now. I think it will start dropping in February or in March when, QE starts, if QE starts. However, keep in mind, in the 2017 cycle, we were in QT when Bitcoin dominance did this. So, I mean, history shows us that yes, starting QE is bullish. I mean, here, for example, after we started QE, Bitcoin dominance dropped quite a lot. However, in the cycle before that, we did not need QE for a Bitcoin dominance drop. So yeah, I mean, we have a bunch of scenarios on the chart and all of them lead to Bitcoin dominance dropping at some point this year. We just don't know when exactly, but like I said, at least judging by what happened in the previous two cycles, we should start dropping in February or March. However, keep in mind, I cannot really, give you a 100% confirmation that we will do exactly what we did in the previous two cycles, because so far, I mean, Bitcoin is doing something entirely different. If you look at the Bitcoin monthly returns chart, which I don't have right now, but if you look at the chart, in the previous year, in December, Bitcoin actually closed a red wick, and it has never done that before in the previous halving years. I believe in 2012 it went up, in 2016 it went up, and in 2020 it went up, but in 2024 it went down. So Bitcoin is obviously doing something else right now, but that's not bearish. And keep in mind, I mean, if you look at, how Bitcoin is doing on the weekly chart, it's still up quite a lot, and it never really had a huge correction to the downside. And this cycle so far looks like the 2017 cycle, so I think we will still keep going up. And, I just got some comments the other day telling me that I was wrong about Bitcoin, and I think that's funny. And they were saying that I was wrong because Bitcoin did not get to about $140,000 or $130,000 by the end of the 2024 year, like I said it would. And like I told you many, many times, what I'm saying here is not financial advice. And also, like I said, I thought that Bitcoin dominance would hit about $130,000 to $140,000 by the end of 2024, because at least based on what happened in the previous cycles, Bitcoin always went up in December of a halving year. But in this cycle, it has not. So yeah, I'm just using what happened in the previous two cycles to give you an idea of what might happen. However, you have to always know that whatever I say, maybe it's not going to turn out to be true. And, I'm giving you all of the possibilities, but that does not mean that, the possibilities will play out. And there is a chance that, we get a left translated peak right now. Now, of course, I'm not expecting that. I still think that Bitcoin will hit $255,000 by the end of the year, but you never know. And like I said, you always have to do your own research, and nobody really knows what's going on in crypto. So, instead of blaming everyone that you bought the top, maybe you should blame yourself, and maybe you should take some accountability. And the same thing can be said about Cardano. I mean, when we were down here, nobody cared about Cardano. I was getting like 4 times less views than I'm getting right now. And what do you know, when we got this huge move to the upside, the channel just exploded. And during this time, people were buying Cardano like crazy. And I was telling you that the best time to buy was down here, not up here. And for some reason, people still bought at like $1.30. And right now that we are at about 68 cents, which is at like 2 times more the amount it was like a couple of months ago, people are complaining because I mean they are down like 50%, even though I was telling you down here to buy and not up here. I did warn you that we will get a second wave move at some point, and well, we got one. So yeah, I mean, this should not surprise you. And if you have been around for long enough, you should know not to buy these tops and to actually wait for a correction. I told you many times not to FOMO in, and you did. So if you did, I mean, that's your fault and nobody else's. And I talked about the different structure here, I believe just yesterday, and like I told you here, we tested this trend line about 4 times, and then when we tested it for the 5th time, we got above it, and that triggered the altcoin season. Right now, this trend line has been tested 4 times, and it's the exact same structure again. I'm not gonna repeat myself. And like I said, we could continue going sideways for another month or so, like we did down here, because it would make sense. We are about to have a cross on the 1 market support band, and here we also had a cross. As you can see, we dropped, and then we just went sideways for some time until we had another cross, and after we had another cross, I mean, that pretty much triggered the altcoin season. And this thing took about 46 days, and what do you know, the next Fed meeting is in about 46 days. So maybe this is what we're doing right now, and maybe you just need some patience. Maybe we'll get another low, who knows? But keep in mind, the Cardano chart is oversold on the daily RSI. So even if we do get another low, I'm not expecting the 1-2 setup right here to get invalidated. And like I said, as long as we stay above, let's say 27 cents, we should be fine. And we should still get a third wave of the third wave at some point whenever Bitcoin dominance finally starts dropping. And I've been saying this for a very long time now, but I'm still expecting that third wave of the third wave to happen. And also, keep in mind, I think that the altcoins will be above all-time highs by the end of May of this year. no matter what happens with QE or QT, I think the altcoins will go up no matter what, because like I told you many times already, Bitcoin dominance always drops in the post-halving year, and it usually drops in February or in March. So I think that this drop will happen no matter what, and you just need to be patient. And I mean, there's nothing else to say right now other than the fact that, yeah, if you bought the top right here, congratulations, you are a big idiot. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to check out our YouTube memberships and our Patreon if you want access to all of our charts, and if you want access to our daily Discord updates. Like, subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.